All right. Welcome everyone to this explainer. Today we're diving straight into something huge, the strategic blueprint for securing your academic and professional future in Canada. If you're planning to navigate the Canadian higher education system in 2026, you probably already know it's incredibly competitive and heavily regulated. But don't worry, we're going to strip away all that confusion, look strictly at the hard facts, and walk you through every single critical step you need to take. We've got a really clear roadmap today. We're covering 1. Academic qualifications, 2. English proficiency, 3. Financial planning, and 4. Legal compliance and salaries.
So let's kick things right off with Section 1, Academic Qualifications, and how to actually secure your admission.
Now, when we talk about admission documents, you have to understand that these aren't just polite suggestions. They are absolutely mandatory. You've got to meticulously prep things like your bachelor's certificate, your passport, and your CV because these form the concrete proof of your academic history. And pay special attention to your statement of purpose and letters of recommendation. Those are crucial. Admissions committees really scrutinize them because they tell the actual human story behind your grades.
It's also super important to know what you're aiming for because the requirements are literally night and day. If you're going for a master's degree, you're facing some high hurdles. A strict 70% average from a 4-year bachelor's, 2 to 3 years of real full-time work experience, and a minimum GMAT score of around 580 to 600. But if you take the diploma route, it's a completely different ballgame. You're looking at a much more flexible process that only expects about a 60% average in 12th grade. Figuring out which lane you fit into right now is going to save you so much frustration later.
Moving right along to Section 2, English proficiency, essentially proving your capabilities.
Take the University of Winnipeg as a baseline benchmark here. Canadian institutions strictly mandate language proficiency. Obviously, top-tier schools like the University of Toronto might push those thresholds even higher, but the core rule is the same everywhere. They need definitive proof you can actually understand the lectures, do the reading, and participate in discussions. You simply will not get in without it. And a quick tip, test scores older than 2 years are completely invalid, so timing is everything. Hitting these baseline scores is basically non-negotiable. We're talking a 6.5 overall on the IELTS, an 86 on the TOEFL with at least 20 in each component, a 120 on the Duolingo English test, or a 58 on the PTE. Your best bet, pick the test format that plays to your personal strengths and make hitting that minimum score your #1 priority. But hey, plot twist. You might not even need a test at all. If you happen to fall into a specific exemption category, you can bypass the whole testing phase, which saves you a ton of time and money. This includes things like having 3 years of full-time English education in Canada or being a citizen of an English-exempt country like Nigeria, the UK, or the USA. Always check to see if you're exempt first.
All right, on to the part that stresses everyone out. Section 3, Financial Planning and Meeting Those Fiscal Mandates.
I want you to lock this exact number into your memory, 22,895 Canadian dollars. That is the Guaranteed Investment Certificate, or GIC amount, that the IRCC requires right now for Indian students outside Quebec. Keep in mind, this is not your tuition. This is the mandatory financial safety net you have to deposit just to prove to the Canadian government that you can survive your first year of living expenses. When you zoom out and look at the whole first-year financial picture, you realize this is a massive, highly structured investment. You've got tuition, which swings wildly from $15,700 all the way up to $53,500 depending on your program, plus that $22,895 GIC, and then administrative costs like visa and language test fees. It's not just about paying for classes, you literally have to budget for the entire legal transition. And honestly, where you choose to live makes a huge difference to that budget. Montreal is dramatically more affordable, sitting around $2,665 a month compared to the really high living costs in places like Vancouver or Toronto, which push up toward $4,000. So when you're relying on that CAD $22,895 safety net, remember, it's going to stretch a lot further in a more affordable province. Now, if those numbers are making you panic a bit, take a breath. You're definitely not alone. There are dedicated educational loans out there to bridge the gap. For instance, institutions like SBI offer the Global EdVantage scheme, which is specifically built for students doing full-time, regular courses at foreign universities. Leveraging tools like this is a really smart, strategic move.
Okay, we've made it to our final phase, Section 4, Legal Compliance and Salaries.
Before you even think about booking a flight, you have to nail this student visa checklist. Take a successful student, let's call her Maya. Having her acceptance letter from a designated learning institution and her funds sorted out was great, but it wasn't enough.
Maya also had to officially convince an immigration officer that she'd maintain a clean legal record, pass her medical exam, and, this is key, formally intend to leave when her permit expired. And you need to pay really close attention to this next part. Under the new May 2026 regulations, Maya, and literally any full-time international student, is legally capped at working exactly 24 hours per week off campus while classes are in session. This is a hard line monitored by the government to make sure you're actually focusing on your studies.
But here's where it gets interesting. The rules totally flip during your officially scheduled breaks. During the academic term, you're stuck at that 24-hour limit. But during recognized breaks, like the winter holidays, reading week, or a scheduled summer term, you have unlimited earning potential. You can literally work off campus for as many hours as you want for up to 180 days a year, as long as you're enrolled full-time before and after the break.
Oh, and there's another massive legal update from April 2026. You no longer need a separate co-op work permit. Basically, if your work placement is a mandatory part of your program and it's 50% or less of your total studies, your valid study permit covers the whole shebang. It completely removes a giant bureaucratic headache for students trying to land those vital campus placements and internships.
But remember, a successful student doesn't just pass exams. Just like Maya, you have to treat your visa compliance like a job. It is 100% your responsibility to keep a rock-solid paper trail. You need to meticulously track your own timesheets and securely store every single official pay stub. Why? Because the government is constantly checking payroll data and DLI reports to make sure you aren't breaking the rules. And I literally cannot overstate this. Working more than 24 hours a week is not some minor parking ticket. It's a direct violation. You can immediately lose your student status, become inadmissible, and face outright deportation. If you ever mess up your math and miscalculate your hours, stop working right away and talk to licensed immigration counsel. Seriously.
All right, enough of the scary stuff. Let's talk about the payoff, the ultimate reward and post-graduation opportunities.
Because if you do this right, your academic investment pays off incredibly fast. Canada is facing severe labor shortages right now, which means top companies are aggressively recruiting straight out of universities. The job opportunities are phenomenal. We're talking IT and tech grads pulling in $110,000, healthcare at $100,000, and even trades and construction starting at a super lucrative $90,000 right out of the gate.
And even when you look across all industries, the average baseline salary for professionals in Canada in 2026 is sitting at a very comfortable 72,000 Canadian dollars. Earning that kind of baseline means you can easily cover your housing, food, and utilities while actually building up some real savings and enjoying a fantastic standard of living.
So what should you really take away from this explainer today? It's simple. The blueprint for your success is clear, and yes, the compliance rules are incredibly strict, but the ultimate reward at the end is absolutely life-changing. You've got the map, you've got the data, and you've got the strategy. The only question left is, will you strictly adhere to this compliance blueprint to secure your CAD's $72,000+ future in Canada? The choice is entirely up to you.